He wasn't just a singer. He was an architect of sound, a visual pioneer, and a force of nature who single-handedly redefined what it meant to be a superstar. But behind the iconic music videos and the gravity-defying dance moves that captivated the world, there is a musical journey told through his albums. A story of constant evolution, from a young Motown prodigy to the undisputed king of pop. Today, on Version Vault, we're explaining every studio album by Michael Jackson. This is the story of how a legend was built, one record at a time. Part 1. The Motown Years, 1972 to 1975. While he was still the undeniable star of the Jackson 5, Motown began to carefully craft Michael's solo career. These first 4 albums are not just side projects. They are the foundational blueprints for everything that would follow, showing the world the first glimpses of the singular talent that was waiting to break free. His solo debut, Got to Be There from 1972, presented his pure, youthful vocal talent, unadorned and powerful. Later that same year, Ben delivered his first solo #1 single, a surprisingly mature and emotional ballad about a rat, which proved he could sell any story with that voice. 1973's Music and Me was a collection of covers, a showcase for his incredible interpretive skills, demonstrating his ability to inhabit a song, not just sing it. Finally, Forever, Michael, released in 1975, marked his farewell to Motown. You can hear a clear shift in its sound, more polished, more sophisticated, and pointing directly towards the disco and funk revolution he was about to lead. The transition was imminent. Part 2. The Bridge to Superstardom, the Jacksons' era. To understand the quantum leap Michael would take with Off the Wall, you have to look at the 2 crucial albums he made with his brothers after they broke free from Motown's assembly line. This was the bridge to his superstardom, built on a foundation of newfound creative control. The Destiny era of 1978 was their declaration of artistic independence. For the first time, Michael and his brothers wrote and produced the majority of an album themselves. The result was a burst of creative energy, perfectly captured in the infectious hit, Blame It on the Boogie, which proved to the world they were no longer just performers. They were architects of their own sound. 2 years later, the Triumph era arrived. Released after the breakout success of Off the Wall, this album and its massive supporting tour saw Michael masterfully juggling 2 worlds. He was a co-leader of a global phenomenon with his brothers, and simultaneously, an exploding solo star on the cusp of history. Triumph was aptly named. It was a victory lap that solidified his confidence and set the stage for the world domination that was just around the corner. Part 3. The Golden Era, 1979 to 1987. And then, the world changed. Partnering with legendary producer Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson began the most iconic and dominant phase of his career, crafting a trio of albums that would not only define the 1980s, but would also build the very blueprint of modern pop superstardom. It all began with 1979's Off the Wall. This wasn't just a record, it was a cultural reset, a masterful fusion of disco, funk, and soul. It showcased a new, adult Michael Jackson in full command of his artistry. Propelled by the sheer joy of hits like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and the smooth sophistication of Rock With You, the album was his definitive declaration of artistic independence and became a phenomenon. 3 years later, in 1982, he delivered Thriller. This was not an album. It was a global event that shattered every conceivable record and cultural barrier. Every single track felt like a hit. It seamlessly blended pop, rock, and funk, and with its revolutionary music videos, it broke the color barrier on MTV, transforming the medium into a cinematic art form. Thriller remains the best-selling album of all time, a testament to its universal and timeless appeal. Following up on the biggest album in history was an impossible task, but Michael answered the challenge in 1987 with Bad. The image was tougher, the sound was edgier, and the ambition was even greater. With 5 consecutive #1 singles, Bad was a commercial juggernaut in its own right, proving that the king of pop's reign was far from over. It solidified his status as an artist who didn't just chase trends, he created them. Part 4. The 90s Reinvention, 1991 to 1997. Moving into the 90s, Michael parted ways with Quincy Jones, embarking on a new creative chapter defined by sonic experimentation and personal turmoil. In 1991, he released Dangerous. Teaming up with producer Teddy Riley, Michael embraced the aggressive percussive sound of New Jack Swing. It was a dense, ambitious, and often challenging album that replaced the smooth funk of the 80s with gritty, industrial rhythms. With groundbreaking videos for songs like Black or White and Remember the Time, Dangerous proved Michael was still at the cutting edge of music and visual storytelling. 4 years later, in 1995, came his most ambitious and personal project, the double album, History, Past, Present, and Future, Book 1. This was not just music, it was a public statement. The first disc was a greatest hits collection, reaffirming his legacy. The second was a collection of brand new songs, and they were raw, angry, and deeply introspective. In tracks like his blistering duet with Janet, Scream, and the defiant anthem, They Don't Care About Us, Michael confronted the controversies swirling around him head-on, creating his most confrontational work. This dark, turbulent period was further crystallized in 1997 with Blood on the Dance Floor, History in the Mix. Often overlooked, this project is a crucial chapter in his story. A hybrid album of remixes and 5 new original songs, it carries a paranoid, industrial, and distinctly European techno sound. It's a sonic snapshot of Michael at his most guarded, a fascinating and dark detour that reflects the immense pressure he was under. Part 5. The Final Chapter and Posthumous Legacy. Michael's final studio album, released during his lifetime, arrived in 2001. Invincible was a sprawling contemporary R&B project that proved he was still pushing his sound forward. With a sleek, polished production, it was a modern pop record through and through. However, due to well-documented disputes with his record label, the album's promotion was severely limited. As a result, Invincible remains a complex and often misunderstood chapter in his career. An ambitious body of work from an artist who felt creatively sidelined. Following his untimely death in 2009, the world was given a final look inside his creative process as the vaults were opened. The first posthumous release, 2010's Michael, was a collection of unfinished tracks completed by producers. It was met with both excitement and controversy, but it served as a bittersweet final farewell, offering one last chance to hear his voice on new material. 4 years later, Escape offered a different approach. Esteemed producers like Timbaland were invited to take original demos from various eras and contemporize them. The result was a fascinating project that bridged the past with the present, giving fans a powerful glimpse of how Michael's timeless melodies could be reimagined for a new generation. From the raw talent of his Motown beginnings to the world-conquering dominance of his golden era and the defiant introspection of his final years, the discography of Michael Jackson is more than just a collection of songs. It is the definitive map of an artist's evolution, a story of relentless innovation, and a testament to a legacy that is, and always will be, invincible. What is your favorite Michael Jackson era, and which artist's discography should we break down next? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Version Vault for more deep dives into the music that shaped history.